here we go. Yeah, I'm sure it was. All right. With these, remember, we are talking about graphs in 3 dimensions and where 3 things are intersecting. So no longer is it like a line. Line's 2-dimensional. You have like length and width. Now we have like length, width, and like height. So kind of think of a plane, like a ceiling. So we're going to be talking about where does the ceiling intersect like the back wall, which intersects like the wall with the windows. Okay, so you're going to have like 3 points to dictate like a location. Okay, instead of like, you know, a point on a grid. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, because we don't live in a 2-dimensional world. We're not Doodlebop. Okay, we're more like SpongeBob. Okay, you add a length, width, and height. So here, we need to find 3 things. We need to find X, Y, and Z. X, yeah. Okay, so we need to find those 3 things. So if we look over here, this is back substitution. This is the basic stuff. Very basic, okay? So we have X equals 10. So if I write that over here, I only need to find 2 more things, Y and Z. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my 2 equations. I have the middle equation and the bottom equation. The middle equation only has X and Y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this equation to solve for Y. So X is 10. I'm going to substitute that in. That's going to give me 3 times 10 plus 2Y equals 2. So 30 plus 2Y equals 2. Go ahead and get Y by itself by subtracting 30. 2Y equals negative 28. Divide by 2. That gives me Y equals negative 14. All right, so I have Y equals negative 14. Now, I need Z. So now I'm going to use that bottom equation because it has X, Y, and Z in it. All right, so I'm going to use a different color. So I have X plus Y plus 2Z equals 0. Well, X is 10. Y is negative 14. Z is 2Z equals 0. And then I just solve for Z. So I get negative 4 plus 2Z equals 0. Make sense? And I get 2Z equals 4. Divide by 2. Z equals 2. So this is my answer. Okay, X, Y, and Z. Got it? Okay. 3 variables. All right. I need 3 equations. 1, 2, 3. Got it? Okay. So this is back substitution. Now, there is another type called the Gaussian method. Talked about Gaussian elimination. Okay. And this is a pretty difficult concept. This is much more difficult. So what I need you to do is just kind of watch as I go through it and attempt to relearn. So it says the goal is to get the system into row echelon form, just meaning, okay, you want it to be kind of like a triangle. Notice X starts in the first equation, Y is in the start in the second equation, and Z in the bottom. Do you guys see that? Okay, so that's called row echelon form. Now we start with what's on the left. It says X minus 2Y plus 2Z equals 9. Then it says negative X plus 3Y equals negative 4. And then it says 2X minus 5Y plus Z equals 10. So how do I go from this to this? Okay? Now, you are not going to be required to do this method. Okay? Your calculator will do it for you. But let's see if I can show you everything that's going on.
Who's Gassan?
Gauss?
That's what it is?
Yeah. He's just a really smart mathematician. Yeah.
Dang, bro. From the olden days.
Yeah.
Gasani sounds 10 times better.
Like,
It does.
like when you think about it, think about creating, like in math, just like, it doesn't seem like a good idea, but hold on. Think about like creating a whole section in process in math.
A man just made it up.
Yeah, pretty much. But when you think about it, like
That's pretty wild.
like you just created or like made up this whole thing, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, it holds true like all the time. Like the dude is smart. So, all right, here's what I'm doing, and you at home, I just want you to follow along. I'm going to do my best to show you how to go from one thing to another. No way.
You don't think so?
Not even close.
Not even
Other
close.
style is close enough with that
Yeah.
fire.
He didn't have the drip like you.
Yeah, it's weird. All right. Here is how they went from one side to the other. So this is what we started with. And again, there is no need to copy this down. But this is what's happening from going from one section to another. So these are my three equations. And what I need to do is get it so my first equation starts with x. So I'm not going to do anything to the top equation. I'm just going to rewrite this. So x minus 2y plus 2z equals 9. Okay? So I did nothing with that. Notice it starts with x. The coefficient of x is 1. That's very important. Now, the second line, what I need to do is get it so it starts with y, and that the coefficient of y is 1. Now, if I look at that second equation, right, so this was my first equation. That's why it's in blue. The second equation, I need to get this green equation to start with y, just a plain y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to take my first equation, my blue one, and I'm going to take my second equation, my green one, all right, and I don't want x. Do you see how they're opposites? I'm going to use elimination. So opposites add. When I add, the x's cancel. Negative 2y plus 3y is y. Right? Yeah. 2z plus nothing is 2z. 9 plus negative 4 is 5. So this second equation becomes y plus 2z equals 5. Right? Is that what it says on the paper?
No. Yeah.
Okay. Now my third equation, it's going to be in red. I need this to start with z. Right? Well, that's kind of the difficult one, right? Because the first one I added the 2, but now I have to get rid of all the other stuff. And this is where it gets weird. Okay? So let's see what I can do. All right. So I have this, I don't know. I'm hoping it works out. So I have this blue equation and I have this green equation. All right, so what can I do here? I don't know. But I do know, let's see, I'm going to try it one time. You guys ready for it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not. I am not ready for this.
Gotta have faith in yourself.
Yeah, you're right.
You're smarter than this G dude.
Yeah, well, this is on it's Gauss. Gaussian.
Gauss. You're
Gauss.
smarter than Gauss. Yeah, you're not making stuff up like you.
No, not yet. All right, so what I'm going to do,
Yeah, I'm learning.
what I'm going to do is I am going to, let's see. Where do I want to go from here?
Is it actually
Yeah, I'm trying to like,
Yeah, Jay, go up there and do it.
No. here we go. Give me a second. Give me a second, Hansi. Give me a second. All right, let's see. So I took those two. Now let's take, here we go. So I took the blue one and the green one. Let's take the blue one. And let's take the red one. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to eliminate x. This seems kind of weird. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this one by 2. See where this goes. This gives me 2x minus 2y minus 4y plus 4z equals 18. I'm going to rewrite this red equation. So I have 2x minus 5y plus z equals 10. Notice my x's are the same, so I'm going to subtract. They cancel. -4 minus -5 is y. 4 minus z is 3. So I have 3z. 18 minus 10 is 8. Now, I have these two equations, the green one and the black one. Do you guys see that? So I'm going to take the green one. Y plus 2z equals 5. I have the black equation. Y plus 3z equals 8. Notice, my y's are the same. So I'm going to subtract them. We get negative z equals -3. Z equals 3. Is that what's written on the paper?
It is. Yes, it is.
Yeah! Still got it.
That was actually, when I saw
Now.
it at the bottom.
Now, that's all the work just to find z. I didn't find x. I didn't find y. I found z. Now,
How do you find X and Y?
so how do I find x and y?
Plug Z.
So I'm going to take z. Okay, I'm going to take z, and I'm going to plug it back in. So I'd have y.
Y equals 0.
I have y plus 2 times 3, that's 6, equals 5. So that would give me y equals -1. Right? Now I have y and I have z. Well, I'm going to take y. I'm going to plug it in. So I have x minus 2 times -1. Well, negative times negative is a positive, so that gives me x plus 2. Plus 2 times 3, that's 6. That's x plus 8 equals 9. That's x is 1. So my 3 numbers, all right, all of this just to give me those 3 things. You guys got that? You guys see that? All of this work, I'm not doing it again.
Why? Why did you like set up the first equation? Like, how did you know that was going to work?
Math size?
No, like I'm just thinking, like.
No, because I actually studied this and like I did it in college. It's just kind of something I did, kind of something I know. No, and the truth behind it is this. Here's the Gaussian elimination method. It's elimination, okay? I have three equations, okay? I know what to do when I have two equations with two unknowns, right? If I give you that, you can do it through elimination. So what I did is I took the first two equations, combined them to get rid of the x. Then I could have taken these two or these two. I can't take the blue and green again. So I could take the green and red or the blue and red. I took the blue and red. I eliminated x again. Now that gives me two equations with two unknowns. That one equation was green, the other one was black. I combined them to eliminate and find z. Then I use back substitution. It's a whole lot of work.
Wait, can you do it one more time?
No. Here's what I need you guys to do. Okay? Here's what I need you guys to do. Are you guys at home following along? Come on. Who's at home? All right, if you guys don't participate, then I'll just end the Zoom.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Everybody get out their calculator.
Then no one would.
Everybody get out their calculator. This is how you do it.
Oh, look, geez, I put the top on my card.
All right. So
I literally, I thought it was my bad.
Cody, here's what I need you guys to do. Everybody, turn on your calculator. Come on. Huh. That's funny.
If you said it before.
I didn't know you were a comedian.
You said it, you said, oh.
That was last week. Yeah, you didn't have a website last week. All right. Can everybody see the problem we started with on the left at home? And can you see the calculator? Is everybody following me? Okay.
Yes.
This is where it gets a little weird. Okay. I'm going to teach you something new. Okay. It's a matrix and you need to follow along. If you wish to take notes, you can take notes or you can just watch this video again. So in order to get to a matrix, this is your best friend. Okay. What I need everybody to do is hit the second button, which is either blue or yellow. Now, everybody find x minus 1 right above it in a different color. Mine's blue because second was blue. Jake, yours is going to be yellow. Hit the x minus 1 and we get to the matrix screen. Does everybody's screen look like this? If yours is not, yeah, we're about to change that.
Oh, this?
Does yours look like mine? Okay, now we are going to go over to edit. Everybody go over to edit and hit enter. Whatever's in here is in here. It doesn't matter. Now, how do I change this part up at the top? You're wondering, why does mine say 3 times 3? How many equations do I have? How many variables do I have? 3 by 3. Make sense? If you have 2 equations, you better have 2 unknowns. Here's the trick. Here's the catch. You have to have 1 equation for every variable. Meaning, if you have 2 variables, you need to have 2 equations. 4 variables, 4 equations. If you have 4 variables and 3 equations, you can't do anything. All right, you're stuck. You can't solve it. So I have 3 variables, x, y, and z, and I have 3 equations, 1, 2, 3. I'm good to go. So everybody type in 3 by 3. Now you're wondering, where do these numbers come from? They are the coefficients of the variables. The first column is your X column. Notice the X's are lined up. This column corresponds to this column. This column is going to correspond to this column. Last but not least, this Z column will correspond to this column. So you must include the sign, okay? So, and if it's 0, if there is nothing there, it goes in as 0. So notice here, I'm missing the Z. I must include that space. It must read 0. So everybody type in 1, enter. -2, enter. 2, enter. Brings me down to the second line. -1, enter. 3, enter. 0, enter. 2, enter. -5, enter. 1, enter. It's probably because you were in the name function. If you're having an issue, make sure you go back to the matrices. So you're going to hit second mode to quit. Then you're going to hit second matrix, go over to edit, and go to the first matrix, A. You're going to change that to 3 by 3 because we have 3 equations with 3 unknowns. Now, these 3, red, green, and blue, should look like mine. Are we all good? We Gucci? Everybody go back to the home screen. So second mode. We're back here.
Wait, how do you get back to the home screen?
Second mode. Now, there's different ways to do this. I like my way, okay? Bradley teaches it a different way. I like my way. For whatever reason, it just makes more sense to me. We're going to go back in. So second matrix. We're going to go over to edit again. Now we're going to go down to B. And how do I get these dimensions? These dimensions, I have 3 equations, right? The first number is the number of equations. I have 3 equations. How many answers are there to each equation? 1. So there are 3 equations with 1 answer. This column and this column better be the same. It's my answer matrix. So everybody go to 9, -4, enter, and 10, enter. Are we good? You can hit the down button. So you go second, matrix, go over to edit. You're going to go down to B.
How do we see what the answer is? Like, we're still setting it up.
We're still setting it up. We haven't done the answer. This is setup, okay? Remember all that work I did? Okay, and I know you're kind of like, this ain't easier, but it is. Because once you get good at it, it takes you less than a minute to solve these. Here we go. Now, this is the only thing you need to write down. Okay, and I'll write it down on the next screen. Okay, so let's go back to the home screen. Here's what you guys need to write down. Up here. A inverse B. That's it. That's all you need to write down. That's what you need to memorize. You need to know how to put all this in. That's your work. Ready? If you're showing me your work, I'll show you what it's going to look like on Ed. This is just proving to you how to do this. Ready? Here we go. We're going to go back into matrix A. We're going to hit enter on A. Notice A came in my home screen, right? Inverse. We hit this X minus 1 button. See that? Does everybody's look like mine?
Should we go back to matrix?
No, you beat.
I have to
You
get-
can watch the video on YouTube later.
What button do I press to get that? Yeah, what do I do?
X minus
Up
1.
Here, do I hit second mode? Give me an aim button.
No, you didn't call up A. You have to go back. Watch. I'm at the home screen. To call it up, I go second, matrix. Now I'm under the name side.
And then when I go to
I hit enter on A. And then I hit inverse. Now I need to call up B because I needed to read A inverse B. Inverse is the -1. So now I go down to B. My screen looks like this. Jay, does yours look like this? Hit enter. What are those? Your three answers, right? What do you think the first one corresponds to? X, Y, Z. It's the way we put it in. The first column was X, second column was Y, third column was Z. 1, -1, 3. Pretty nice, right?
What is the -1 and 3?
Answers. All right, so you think it's a lot. Here you go. See this one? If you think it's a lot, go ahead. Do this one by Gaussian elimination. Or you can follow along. Here's the work that you need to write down. Ready? Here's the work. Ready, Hansi?
I'm very ready.
This is the A matrix. The A matrix will be 1, -2, 2. See it? 1, -2, 2. Do you see that?
Yes.
The B matrix, or not the B, the second row is -1, 3, 0. Why is it 0?
There's nothing there.
There's no
There's no
variable there. Here is the third row. 2, -5, 1. The B matrix is 9, -4, 10. And this is your work. A inverse B equals. Okay? Then we got that. This is the same one as the one above it, right? This is the same one as that, right?
Yeah.
It was 1, -1, 3, right? So your answer would be X equals 1, Y equals -1, Z equals 3. That's all your work. It's all calculator work. See what I told you? Can you do it without a calculator? Yeah. Do you want to? No.
How do you get that -1 top up?
X -1 button. It's all that matrix button. Everything involves Jake.
Wait, where did you get the 1, -1, and 3 from? Those are the answers.
The answers, Jake.
But how do you check them? Check it.
You can plug it in.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Let's look at these two. Watch. I have 5 minutes left in class. This is how. Ready? Matrix I. 1, -3, 1. 2, -1, -2. 1, 2, -3. Matrix B. 1, 2, 1. A inverse B equals. I'm going to get some answer. X equals Y equals Z equals. Ready for it? Here we go. A little quicker this time. We're going to go to the matrix. We're going to go over to edit. I'm going to enter my coefficient matrix in. It's a 3 by 3. 3 equations, 3 unknowns. Now I enter in my coefficients. So 1, -3, 1, 2, -1, -2, 1, 2, and -3. Now I need to go back to the home screen. I need to go to my B matrix under edit. This is a 3 by 1. 3 by 1. I'm going to enter in my coefficient or my answer matrix, which is 1, 2, -1. And now I'm just going to do A inverse B. So I go back to the matrix, go to the name, A, call it up, inverse, and call up B. Hit enter. Now, for this one, it says error, singular. That means something's going on here, right? So what does that mean? Well, do you think there's an answer? No. Okay. So this one says singular matrix, which means either it's no solution or infinite solution, right? One or the other.
You're telling me to do all this work just for it to be a singular matrix?
Do you want to do it the other way just to find out it's a singular matrix?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm going to run through the last one real quick, just because, I mean, we're running out of time. 1, this is going to be a 3 by 3. So it's 1, 1, -3, 0, because there's no x in that equation, 1, -1, -1, 2, 0. We go back, go into B, go down to edit. It's a 3 by 1, -1, 0, and 1. Now I'm going to call up A inverse B. And this one says singular as well. So the key is now you have to figure out, is it no solution or infinite solution? All right. So you guys need to Google, what does the singular matrix mean?
Why don't you just
Because I ran out of time.